go. Okay, water box. Slow, very slow again. Very slow. Oh, so slow today. It's gonna be a long wait. Really long wait. Look at a little leech. Little leech. Halfway, maybe.
Let's see how long we're going. This is a really slow one. Okay, 15 minutes already, almost 14. Oof. I'm gonna come back. So that's like more than half an hour to fill up both bottles. So yeah. Let's see, where are we now? Right. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, it's just a trickle right now, which is interesting because. I often wonder how long the hydrological cycle takes. Like, how long does it take the rains to filter through the ground and then start coming back up again? And maybe it's the pressure of the water coming down that pushes the water there that's already there up. You know what I mean? So if rain from now might not come up during the dry season, when it's actually usually runs really fast, right? Which makes me think, okay, so it's like a half-year cycle or something. But it could be just the water coming from the top putting pressure, and that's pushing the other water up. So it's hard to say. Like today on Chris Martinson's video, he was talking about the Ogallala aquifer in the southern central US, I guess. And it takes 10,000 years for water for it to filter through. More, it's predicted, I suppose you could say. Anyway, so in terms of here, I don't know. I just don't know. It'd be great to speak to a geologist or a meteorologist or a geologist that does meteorology, maybe. Or maybe not meteorology, hydrology, I don't know. Who knows? Who might know? I'd like to ask that. Anyone watching this that knows, maybe you could chime in on that. I really don't know. But anyway, it for sure has a cycle. Now that we're just getting into we're in the rainy season, but it's not super heavy rain that much at the moment. But soon, like July, August, September is when the heavier rains usually come. And quite often during this time, the water flows quite slow. Then it picks up again when it starts to dry up again. So it makes me think there's a 4, 6, 8 month cycle. I don't know. Maybe a 6-month cycle. But I don't know. Anyway, this bottle's almost done, so I'm not going to bother filming for the other part because we're already 15 minutes, 16 into this. But I'll check in when I've got them all filled and packed up. Okay, see you in a bit. This is interesting. You can see right here. You can see the water flowing, eh? So it's flowing actually on the surface over those rocks into this sort of, what would you call it? It's like a hollow that's concrete, that's lined in concrete. So it's coming out of the side of the hill here, but not directly into here. But I feel like it used to come directly. Yeah, I feel like it used to come directly into that space there, and that's why they built that there when I first started getting water. But then a couple of years later, hang on, see this tree root ball here, if you can call it that. Well, that was a huge tree that came down and disrupted all the flow of this, but it's still coming out, of course. But when this fell, it was right across here, right across. And it's, partly people cut it, and people cut it, and it's broken down by natural processes, etc. So that root ball coming up then disrupted the flow of this, but it's still coming down and still ends up into this container, into this place they made that then has a pipe coming out of it, and that's where I get mine here, you see. Yeah. So that's the story of that. Oh boy. Yeah. Sorry for that hand view. Hang on. So that's that story, right? So, I don't know. I don't think that's affecting why it's so slow, because it's even before that tree fell, the water flow had cycles. Sometimes it's just gushing out, Like this, even like a month ago, these bottles were being filled up in like a couple minutes, believe it or not. Now it's taking 15 minutes, like both in like 3 minutes. Now it's taking about 15 minutes per bottle, and each bottle is about 6 liters. I probably put more in it because I fill it right to the top. So there you go, on the water. Yeah. Okay, see you in a bit. Hey, one nice thing about the water being so slow is that, oops, I end up being very still for a long time, and that allows the birds and the insects and stuff to start singing up again. You know, like when you go into an area that's wild, everything will quite often go very quiet, while the people in the canopy, the animals in the canopy, the sentient beings in the canopy, look down and go, all right, what's this character up to? I think I'll just stay quiet for a minute, and then okay, just minding their own business. So then the sounds start to come back. Actually, in Ernest Thompson Seton, I don't know, I think he must have been English, but I think Canadian too, from England maybe. Anyway, I remember there's a park in Toronto called Ernest Thompson Seton Park, but there's a term that we used to use called Seton City. It's basically you just go into a natural area, a wild area maybe, or sometimes not even all that wild, right? Like a park or something. I mean, if it's in the middle of a city and it's a lot of noise, maybe that's not the best situation, but it doesn't have to be pristine wilderness, is I guess what I'm saying. And you just go and then you just sit on the ground, wherever. You're just still. And then the life comes back into the area that you've come and disturbed a little bit, you know. And Seton City, it's awesome. So with the slow water, half an hour of the water flow, I guess. Oh, I wonder what this is. There's a tree here. Whoosh. Oh yeah. Oh, it's. I don't know. It smells good. Like, you see that? There we go. All these fruits. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are. Maybe I should grab one. If I see Pisu Tam, I can ask her. Yeah. I'll ask her if I can eat it. Usually I bring stuff to her and go, Pisu Tam, gendai mai. She goes, mai dai. Most of the stuff's mai dai. Yeah, but home. It smells good. Don't eat it. But there's lots you can eat. She's really knowledgeable, I think. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, Seton City. There you go. Something to do. Something to do when you're in a natural area, which is nothing. Yeah, what is that? Also, the great John A. Livingston. The great John A. Livingston, Canadian naturalist, I guess he called himself. I remember at one point he says, I refuse to call myself an environmentalist. Just at that stage, and this was an interview back in the, I don't know if it was the one in the 80s or the 90s, and he died in 2005. And man, you know, I sort of made my living, eked out a living, we'll call it, in the arts, right? And still do, like I make guitars and stuff. And, so I'm have a certain aptitude to that kind of thing, and that's what I did. But really, all through high school, my main thought was I'm going to become a wildlife biologist. And I wanted to be a field biologist in the high Arctic. That's what I wanted to do. And my biology teacher in grade 10 was, he was awesome. And he used to go, Mr. I forget his name, did you ever go into field biology in the Arctic? Like a little kid, like, did you ever do that? That's what I want to do. I said, well, you know, I did some field work up in northern Labrador, which is like, I wouldn't call it the high Arctic, but it's up in the Arctic for sure. Subarctic into tundra Arctic is the land of Labrador. Anyway, yeah, so, shoot, I forget my point. Oh yeah, John Livingston. He refused to call himself an environmentalist, because at that stage, he just said, you know what, to his view, the environmental movement was primarily, I'm paraphrasing, primarily made up of people that want to keep everything the same and get away with it. Hence, we have to have electric cars or we're all gonna die. You know what I mean? Anyway. Sort of with him on that one. Actually, not sort of, I am, you know. I loved, in the same, you know, CBC, these are Ideas shows. See, Ideas was a great show on, radio show on CBC, and when he died, they did a wonderful 2-episode presentation of interviews with Livingston, but also his contemporaries, his deep ecologists. Or I have to look where I'm walking. I can't just stumble around here. Let's get some more distance here. Deep ecologist comrades, I guess. But David Ehrenfeld, he he's amazing as well, right? And he's still around, I do believe. But his point was, and again, I'm still paraphrasing like crazy, but his point was, you know, like the environmental stuff is fine, but without a sense of the sacred, or however you want to put that, right? It's just, okay, now I'm talking my own words, but they're definitely influenced by his. It just feels hopeless, right? Just hopeless. And I've been on a back and forth on a Facebook post by, I think, a Kenyan fellow named Alfred. No, is it Alfred? Oh, I can't remember his last name. Anyway, I have it in my head, but only partly. Anyway, just about kind of a meme about Greta and, you know, about electric cars, and it's just a meme, right? I don't know if she ever said it, but about electric cars, and they show some kids in Africa mining cobalt, you know. And, you know, a lot of people say, she didn't say that, and that's not really what's happening. It's like, no, all this technology has a price. Do you know what I mean? It has a price. And you have to be careful to be aware of what that price is. And will you end up in a worse situation than you be? I have to finish now. I just ran out of space. I forgot I did a little video on the market from yesterday that's come back now after freaking ages of being shut down. I'll go on about that another time. Anyway, I'm not in my usual place. I say goodbye. Ala Prochaine. Hope everyone's doing great, and get out in the sun if you can. Get out in nature. All that stuff is what I think is a good idea. But do whatever the heck you want, I suppose. Okay. Oops. Can't talk and walk at the same time through this muck. Okay, so see you later. Ala Prochaine. Ciao.